Hello and welcome. Check it out. Project Cheap Bolt's back on the table. What's going on with Project Cheap Bolt? Well, we were lucky enough to receive a care package from Fish's Crawler Parts. And they sent us some goodies, and we're going to put some of those goodies on Project Cheap Bolt. What did they send us in our care package? Let's take a look. In our care package, we received an assortment of shock retainers. I know people are like, well, what's the big deal? Shock retainers. Okay, in case you don't know, this is a normal shock retainer. This one here is actually off of a Wraith. See how it's kind of shaped like Pac-Man? It has this C shape. This right here slides over your shock shaft, and your spring rests on top of this cup, the spring retainer here. Now what it does is, as your piston goes up and down, sometimes the spring moves, and this can pop out. And you can lose this, it can make your spring slide down, it can just make your shocks not work right. The upside to the Fish units is, notice they're circular. They do not have this Pac-Man shape. So this means whenever you put them on your shocks and the spring comes down over top of the retainer here, there is no chance of losing this. Your truck isn't going to get erratic just because you lost this in the middle of a competition. So another advantage is, check out the collars. They come in a variety of colors here. This is just 3 of them here. We got them in black, pink, and green. And these are different sizes for different kinds of shocks. You know, get with them. They make them for a race, SCX10s, all kinds of different things. So make sure you check them out. I will link their Facebook page down below. And also have these spacers here in various thicknesses, which is very important for making your track width fit your body, or just for fine-tuning your rig. Getting it just set up the way that you want it set up. One thing you notice right off is, yes, these are 3D printed, but the quality is top-notch on these. They're not grainy and rough like some of the 3D printed parts you see out there. They're really smooth, and it's pretty cool because they also, let's see if the camera can pick it up here. I'm not sure if it's going to or not, but they have their logo and name carved into the side of them, which is pretty neat. See it there? So what we're going to do is we are going to put a set of these onto Project Cheap Bolt, and that way we won't have to worry about losing a spring retainer whenever we're out with it at their next comp. And on the upside, it will also, I think, will be a nice addition to the truck in both function and looks. So let's see, how hard is it going to be to put one of these on the truck? Let's tear into it and find out. First thing we have to do, of course, is remove the body. I've already pulled the clips. Yes, this truck is dirty. I just finished running it there yesterday, and I plan on running it again the next couple of days. We'll clean it up after that, because then I have no plans to run it for a few days. So, we got that far, then we'll have to take off a wheel so we can access the lower shock mount. Let's get started on that. Okay, we got the wheel out of the way. Now we can just get to this piece of hardware right here and take out the lower mount. Honestly, you can get by with just taking out the lower mount, but on this shock right here, I'm going to also take out the upper mount just so I can pull the whole thing out and show you better. So I'm going to flip it over now and take out that lower mount. Now I got that lower mount out of the way. K&K Hardware, by the way. Look them up. I highly recommend it. I'm going to remove the upper mount. Mine's a little bit different than what you're running because I'm running some homemade keys on mine. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the upper mount. And pull the shock off. And there we go. And now we have the SCX10 shock ready. You can tell she's a little dirty, but it's not leaking, which is good. SCX10 shocks are notorious for leaking. I've had good luck out of mine, knock on wood. So let's hope it continues that way. So right here is the cup we're going to replace. Let's go ahead and just pop this off. Yes, I'm running an extra spacer on the spring, on the shaft, because on this truck I don't need as much articulation, and I'm not a big fan of Monster Flex anyway, so from my driving style and this truck, Limited Flex works best. But anyway, here's the stock retainer, and we're going to replace it with the fish unit. These green ones right here are the same size, and that's what we're going with. So, nice pretty unit, you can see here. So let me show you how it works. Pull the spring off here. The spring, as you can tell, this will snap down over top, like so. And there you go. So you'll have to take off your end link right here. We'll have to unscrew this, because since this right here doesn't have the C shape, you'll have to go on and then you screw this on. Okay, so let's get to work on that. I know I've showed you guys how to do this before if you don't have a shock piston tool, but in case you hadn't seen other videos, wrap a piece of paper towel around it, your shaft, grab it with a pair of vice grips. Now you have to hold it tightly. Squeeze it very, very tightly. Since you don't want that shaft to rotate, not at all. Slide your driver through it and then just twist. The shaft isn't moving and the end piece is just screwing right off. Once it moves so far, you can probably do it by hand. Just sometimes you need the extra torque of the handle to get it started. There we go. Now while I have this apart, have the spring off of it, I'm going to throw some isopropyl alcohol on a paper towel and wipe down the shock to clean the dirt off of it. Now we got it all cleaned up, all we do is we slip the spring back on, put the fish spring retainer in place, slide it up on the shaft there, and then we start screwing this in. I'm doing a big no-no here. Don't do this at home. I am grasping the shock shaft with a pair of pliers that does not have nothing on them. I'm not so worried about marring these down here because it's not a place I'll ever pass an O-ring. And I'm squeezing it tight enough that it is not moving. But I do not recommend doing this. There we go. Let it slide back down to the shock. And voila. There we go. Now there's no chance of that spring coming off and the retainer coming off and ruining our day. Now we just got to put the shock back on the truck. We'll start by sliding it on the upper mount. Tighten down the upper mount. Now we're just doing our lower mount here. Just a little bit. And there we have it. It is now installed. And the upside is that green beautifully matches my chassis as well. See the fish logo right there? So no chance of that popping out. It's a very well made part that will do a wonderful job there. Okay, the only thing left to do now is put the tire back on. Let's get that out of the way. And now that wheel is finished. That shock all finished up there. We're now going to go and do the other three and get them out of the way. The other three will be much easier because I'm not going to take the wheels off to do that, because luckily with these wheels my tool will reach right between the spokes and get to that lower nut, so I can loosen it up without taking them off. And I'm not going to take the upper nut off and remove the shock, because all I got to do is remove the lowers to change those out. Just so you know, this can be a really quick 5-minute upgrade if you have wheels, open spokes, and a tool long enough that you can get in to that lower shock mount. So this is an upgrade that you can't even say, I don't have time to do that. Yes, you do. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other three wheels and check back in after they are completed. All 4 spring cups are now installed. Easy job. If you're dedicated enough, you could probably do this in 10 minutes. But this is a nice little upgrade, especially if you have problems with spring cups popping off. Solves that easy peasy. So, highly recommend this upgrade. I want to thank Fish for this care package. I really do appreciate it. It's a great addition to Project Cheap Bolt. And this is a great design product. So, until next time, thank you for watching. Make sure you check us out on Instagram. And make sure you check out Fish's Crawler Parts. The link will be down below, or I may just pop it up here on the screen as well. So, until next time, happy RCing.